It was another day in court with Karen Reed that produced some very, I would say, bombshell evidence. It is witness testimony, but it's something that nobody has heard before about a black blob being out there in the front yard. 6 foot black blob out there in the front yard, as seen by one of the young adults who was leaving that party that night. They didn't think much of it. Why really would you? You're not used to having bodies in your front yard. You just, maybe it's a garbage bag or something. But it is some testimony. We're going to take a listen to it here in just a few moments. Julianna Nagel, one of the witnesses at Brian Elbert Jr.'s birthday party, testified that she noticed an out-of-the-ordinary black blob near the flagpole on the lawn. The statement she initially shared with others in the car that night. When asked about this observation, Lally probed further, only to be met with objections from the defense, highlighting the contentious nature of the evidence that was prevented. Let's take a listen to this testimony, because this could be the nail in the coffin, pardon the pun, for the defense of Karen Reed. Take a listen.
As you drive by home, what, if anything, did you observe?
I did notice behind Sarah and Jen, I did notice something out of the ordinary, like a black blob in the ground by the flagpole.
And from where you were situated in the car, do you know sort of what was the lighting like over in that area of the yard that you saw by the flag?
It was pretty dark out, but the snow was kind of heavy at that point, so couldn't really see too much. But
so the snow's coming down at that point?
Yes.
And if you know about where in relation to the flagpole was this black object that you saw?
I'd probably say close to the street, but in their lawn, right kind of in front of the flagpole next to it.
Can you describe how big an object it was that you saw?
I'd probably say 5 or 6 feet, long, but.
And at the time that you were driving by at that point, could you tell what it was?
Not quite sure, no.
When you were passing the property, you did not think it was a body?
At the time, no.
You claim that you told everyone in the car that you saw something, correct?
Correct.
And your friend Sarah said what? Or something to that effect, correct?
Correct.
And there was no further conversation after that, correct?
Not that I can remember.
Did you tell the driver that you saw somebody who was in trouble?
Well, I said it out loud in the car.
So is it your testimony now that you said out loud in the car, there's a person who's in trouble?
That's not what I said, no.
I don't get these attorneys where they keep putting words in people's mouths. And and you said there's somebody that's in trouble. It's not at all what she just said. Not at all. Not remotely what she just said.
No.
I think the goal is simply to get these messages out to the jury so the jury thinks they heard that in their memory, and it further complicates things. But I don't know how there's not any objecting to some of this stuff, because it seems like a bit out of turn with this kind of leading a witness is really what it feels like is happening.
And I feel like there's so many actual pauses where you could hear objection and you don't.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's almost like the pause is put in there on purpose and you don't hear a damn thing. So Where are you, dude? Where are you?
I'm almost wondering if they're just kind of letting them hang themselves, because, it's not playing well. It's not playing well to the jury. These attorneys are coming across as extremely unlikable. They're talented attorneys, but in this community, the way that they're handling this and the way that they're just berating a lot of, fairly, liked people that don't really have a lot of, and they're very they're great witnesses. They're very matter of fact. They come across as completely legit. And then when they're being torn apart by these high paid, high power attorneys, it's just, I don't know. It's not boding well for Karen Reed. And that doesn't mean that she tried to murder him either. It means these attorneys are really, they're going out on a real limb here trying to paint this conspiracy thing that really doesn't have any legs to it. At the end of the day, I just think she accidentally hit him. That's what it was. It was an accident. That's it.
Yeah, and that's probably what it was. What's really troubling me here is I'm trying to think back to yesterday, just in my life. I can't really tell you a whole lot of details about yesterday. I maybe could tell you what I had for lunch, maybe what I had for dinner, and some other assorted things. And I wasn't drunk. So how are these people remembering? I wasn't too drunk. Let's put it that way. How are these people remembering what happened X amount of months ago, year ago? And I don't understand why this is relevant testimony. If she didn't call this out the next day, how is this even relevant?
Well, I don't know why that is a weird part to it. Like, well, why didn't you say something about it, all this time? This just seems weird. But at the same point, I don't know. Some people just aren't the brightest. I'm not calling her, I don't know. But sometimes it's just, they don't think about the information that they hold. Most people are completely unaware of most things around them and what the knowledge they have, how it may impact somebody else. So I don't know. I could see it being exactly what it is. And she didn't think much of it. Because, look, you drive down the highway, you're going to see eventually, some bags and sacks and stuff on the side of the road that could easily contain a human body. But do you think every single one of those contains a human body? For me, maybe 5 out of 10. But for the average person, probably not. And that's... So you wouldn't stop. You wouldn't go. It was a snowstorm. It's easy to think of a lot of reasons why there's a blob out there. It's snowing. It could be maybe it's a weird shadow. I don't know. You maybe not even thinking about it at all. It's just a passing, fleeting thought for a second. And it's just like, I don't know what that was. I don't know. Let's keep going. And that's it. That's all it was.
Well, and it's windy. We, you and I for sure have seen our share of blizzards and really bad snowstorms. If it's that windy, there's things flying around. It could have, like you said, it could have been a barbecue cover that blew off of somebody's barbecue grill next door. It could have been anything.
They're not thinking body at that moment in time, and that's what you got to remember when you're hearing the testimony. Further complicating the narrative, Nagel noted the presence of a black SUV outside the residence, which departed before she left with the McCabe family. The vehicle's presence and subsequent disappearance adds another layer to the mysterious circumstances surrounding the night before O'Keefe was found dead. Defense attorney Yannetti actively questioned other witnesses, like Sarah Levinson, who attended the same party. Levinson confirmed that she was unaware of any significant incidents during the party and did not observe anyone in distress or unusual behavior at the Alberts residence. Her testimony was corroborated by the fact that she, too, was driven home by the McCabes without any alarming observations. Throughout the day, the defense strategy seemed to pivot towards isolating these observations from any direct implications of foul play, suggesting that the witness testimonies do not necessarily correlate with the prosecutor's narrative of a planned or malicious act leading to O'Keefe's death. The trial was also punctuated by legal objections and requests for sidebars, underscoring the complexities and sensitivities involving in piecing together the events of the night. One poignant moment came when Yannetti questioned Nagel about her potential reaction to seeing someone lying in the snow, a hypothetical that was swiftly met with an objection from Lally and sustained by the judge. Take a listen.
That this black object that you talk about was ever 5 or 6 feet long prior to telling the jury that today?
Objection.
You have to ask that differently, Mr. Yannetti.
Today, this afternoon, is the first time that you've provided testimony or information to any official regarding this case that the object was 5 or 6 feet long?
No.
I'm sorry?
No.
Who did you tell prior to today?
About what?
Okay, I thought we were talking about the fact that you've now testified that this black object was 5 or 6 feet long. You recall that?
Today, yes.
And my question to you was, you've never mentioned that this black object was 5 or 6 feet long until the last hour or so when Mr. Lally questioned you about it, correct?
Yes.
Now, when you were passing the property, you did not think it was a body.
At the time, no.
You claim that you told everyone in the car that you saw something, correct?
Correct.
And your friend Sarah said what? Or something to that effect, correct?
Correct.
And there was no further conversation after that, correct?
Not that I can remember. No.
And you didn't think that it was a person who was in trouble, correct?
Objection.
Did you think that? At what time, Mr.?
When you're leaving the property, after leaving the house at 1:45 a.m. and getting into the McCabe vehicle and passing the Albert lawn, you did not think that you saw a person who was in trouble, correct?
No.
Or a person that may have needed help, correct?
I don't know, no.
And you were right there, correct, passing the property?
I was passing the property,
Not
yes.
as close to the property as your friend Sarah Levinson, but you were in the back seat on the driver's side, correct?
Correct.
And you were in a car such that if you thought that you saw something that could have been a person, all you had to do was tell the driver, correct?
Objection.
Sustained.
Did you tell the driver that you saw somebody who was in trouble?
Well, I said it out loud in the car.
So is it your testimony now that you said out loud in the car, there's a person who's in trouble?
That's not what I said, no.
You didn't mention a person at all in the car, correct?
No.
You did not tell Matthew McCabe, hey, stop the car, correct?
I did not know.
If you had seen a person in the snow lying there, you would have done something about it, correct?
Objection.
Sustained in that time.
You didn't ask Matthew McCabe to stop.
No.
You didn't ask him to back up.
Nope.
You didn't ask him to check on whatever it was.
Objection, Your Honor.
I'll allow that.
No.
You had your phone with you, correct?
Yeah.
Your phone was working, correct?
I don't remember.
You used that phone to text your brother.
An hour and a half before.
Are you testifying today that your phone was completely out of charge?
I don't remember, no.
Text your good friend Brian Albert Jr. to tell him that you saw somebody lying on his front lawn?
Did I text him
Yes.
that night?
As you are supposedly seeing this black object,
Objection.
the immediate aftermath of that, did you text Brian Albert Jr. to tell him about that black object?
So in that form, it's sustained. Ask it differently, Mr. Yannetti.
You had your friend Sarah Levinson with you, correct?
I did in the car, yes.
You knew she was a nurse, correct?
Yeah.
You didn't tell your friend Sarah that you just saw somebody lying in the snow during a blizzard who might need some help, correct?
I did not know.
It's because she didn't see that. She didn't know what she was seeing.
Yeah. this whole I don't know what they're trying to get here. Are they trying to blame her?
They're just trying to discredit her any way that they can, is what they're doing. They're doing kind of a shitty job of it because she's just a very matter-of-fact, normal person witness. And like, nope, because, yeah, I mean, I think any reasonable person could hear that and go, she didn't know that it was a body at that moment in time. So, no, there's no reason to sound the alarm bells because you don't know that.
Let me ask you this. Did you feel that there was a little bit of nervousness from her? She was breathing heavy toward the end there.
Maybe, but she's not an expert witness. I mean, if you're on trial and you're up there, you're going to be nervous in that sort of a setting.
Okay.
So I don't get anything out of this where it's like I'm covering this up for anybody. I don't feel that at all. I feel like everybody's been very matter of fact. Nobody's really felt like they're being cagey or anything. It's because they're not. They're just saying what happened, what their knowledge is, and the narrative that they're trying to push to the defense just doesn't add up.
It's very true.
So I don't know. I'd be interested to see what else pops out of here in the next couple of days. Each day, just a new witness that's really changing the game on this trial.
Want to listen ad-free? Want advanced access to all of our interviews before anyone else?
Become a True Crime Today Premium Plus subscriber on Apple Podcasts.
You get every episode commercial-free.
So you can binge on true crime
Until you can binge no more.
Search True Crime Today Premium Plus on Apple Podcasts now, or go to our podcast page and sign up now.
More of the Hidden Killers podcast next.